Yúgōng yíshān. The crazy old man moving mountains. The Warring States period is a mystical time where many famous folk tales originate. Given the mix of political friction and cultural cohesion between the 7 states, it was only natural that storytellers would seek to elevate their own state through stories and myths, and that these stories would be readily adapted by the people of the other states. The story of the crazy old man moving mountains was first recorded in the book Lièzǐ, a classical daoist text from the 4th or 5th century BC that included many folk tales and fables gathered from the people. The book juxtapositions the wisdom of the crazy old man with the foolishness of the divine spirit called wise sage, arguing that human perseverance can overcome the will of the divine, all in plain and simple language. A long time ago, there lived a crazy old man between 2 mountains. If he wanted to go to work, he had to walk around one of the mountains, which would take several hours. And if he wanted to get to town, he had to walk around the other mountain, which would also take several hours. One day, he decided that he had had enough. Being somewhat crazy, instead of just moving, he decided to cut a path through the 2 mountains. He got all his family members together and told them the plan, to which they all approved. His wife, on the other hand, said that it would be impossible, if for no other reason than at least because they wouldn't only have to cut the mountains down, but also take care of all the rubble and mud that would pile up. The crazy old man said not to worry. He'd put a few of his sons to cut the stone down and another few to transport the rubble and mud to various places. Work then began. Through summer and winter, they worked hard and long. Even a little orphan from the nearby town would join in and help carry small pebbles. Suddenly, the divine spirit called wise sage showed up. He mocked the crazy old man, saying, "You are so stupid. Just cutting down the grass on the mountains make you tired. What strength do you have to carry stones and mud?" The crazy old man answered, "You are so set in your ways that you have lost your imagination, and even this orphan is wiser than you. Even if I die, my sons will be here to continue. When they die, my grandchildren will take over my work, and they will have children, which will have children, which will have children that will carry on the work. The mountains, on the other hand, do they live? Do they grow? Of course not. Eventually, we shall overcome the mountains." The wise sage had nothing to say. The divine mountain spirit heard the fight between the crazy old man and the wise sage and was moved by the perseverance of the old man. He went to the Emperor of Heaven and told him what he had heard. The Emperor of Heaven was extremely touched by the story. He worried that the crazy old man might not live to see the mountains cut through. So, he personally traveled down to the human world and cut 2 large paths through the mountains. This Chungyu illustrates the possibility of humans to overcome any obstacle if we just set our minds to it. If you're not too familiar with Chinese culture, you can learn some things about both religious thought, through the divine mountain spirit and divine sages, and the general idea that the civilization and posterity is greater than the individual person, through the idea that my sons will have sons which will have sons that will carry on the work, both of which translate fairly poorly into Western idea and thought. However, unquestionably, I think that the overall messages echo throughout time. Sometimes the wise can be blinded by their perception of what is possible, and if you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything. If you know that something is possible, don't listen to what others say. Be like the crazy old man that moved mountains.